Dose with your host, Farah. And today we're going to be talking about embracing nurses making money, right? So if you're watching out there, let me know what city, what country you're watching from. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Put them in the chat. I am so happy to be live here. And I'm currently streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So where my people at? Where my nurses at? Let's go. Let's get into it. Like I said, my name is Farah. For those who don't know you, for those who don't know me, I've been a nurse for now 20 years. I know. I started when I was like 5, right? So I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I worked in Canada, worked here in the US. And give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that I am live on LinkedIn here. Yes, so in Canada and US, like I said. And I started out in the emergency department. So for those of you who have been following me, you know my story. I basically wanted to go in the ER, but my clinical instructor told me that I was too unorganized to start in the ER. So of course I didn't listen. And I wanted to really work ER because I loved trauma life in the ER. And I was like, that's the type of nurse that I want to be. And she told me that I would never be an ER nurse. So, of course, I didn't listen. And I thought, how can an educator just like crush somebody's dreams, right? So I said, watch me, lady. I will be an ER nurse. And that's what I did. So I worked in Canada for a good 5 years and I moved to New York City. Worked at a bunch of different ERs. I ended up being a trauma nurse. I got 3 times board certified in the ER. Currently, I'm 6 times board certified in different things in education and leadership, patient experience, and again, the emergency department. I'm also a writer. I'm a contributor for Minority Nurse. I got my master's in education and I transitioned into education. But again, that wasn't easy. It took me 2 years after I got my master's to land 2 education jobs at the same time. So I was a clinical instructor for NYU and a clinical educator for NYU at another location at a hospital. But that didn't come easy because for a long time, I had a manager that thought I didn't have the soft skills to be an educator. So I was like, hey, screw that. I definitely do. And you're not going to stop me from doing what I want to do, right? I am going to be an educator. And I promised myself that I would always be a clinical instructor so I could empower other nurses and nursing students to really do what it is that they want to do. So that was the reason why I started my business and I started helping other nurses really level up in their career and help them with career guidance. So if you're a nursing student out there watching this or a new graduate nurse, you need to contact me. Because don't let them tell you that you have to go to med-surg, right? You can go wherever it is that you want. If you want to start in NICU, L&D, ICU, ED, whatever it is that you want, you can start. And remember, we're in a nursing shortage, right? So you call the shots, okay? You could definitely get there. You just have to position yourself the right way to be able to get into these areas, such as getting things like ACLS or other certifications that will help you stand out and stand apart from the rest. So that goes with your resume, your cover letter. And of course, once you get to the stage of the interview, all you need to do is just slay. And you can't show up to the interview being boring and right, just being like everybody else, like, hi, my name is this. No, you need to start off with a pitch so you can be memorable, so you can get the job, right? So that's kind of what I do, like I said, as a career coach. And recently, I started speaking to a lot of nurses who are interested in starting their own businesses, right? So they asked me, Farah, like, do you have to get certified to be a consultant or a coach? And, I'm like, no, you don't. So a lot of them were asking me to kind of put together something in writing. And I did. I recently wrote a book, Nurses Making Money Moves. Yes, it's a workbook. And it's a nurse's guide to starting a business. So I actually was selling this at the NMBA conference, and it is currently on my website. So if you go to nursefarah.com, and it's 1R, nursefarah.com, just hit books and then go to the little cart, and you'll be able to purchase the book. It'll bring you to a form and then hit the cart and you'll be able to buy it, because there were some glitches with certain people, but all you need to do is actually hit the little black cart and you'll be able to purchase it. All right. And again, this is it's going to cover entrepreneurial mindset, how to really create a business plan. And if you're not sure what type of business you want to start, it goes through different business ideas that you might want to look into. Talks about pricing and really how to stand apart using social media and how to pitch to media to really stand out. All right. So again, my workbook is available. Of course, I'll pop this up a little bit later. Let me know if you're watching. Oh my goodness, I was missing all the all the comments. All right, let's see who's on here. What's up, Damien? He says, hey, Damien is part of the NMBA, and you should follow Damien, especially if you're a nursing student looking to pass your NCLEX. He has a lot of NCLEX review, and also kind of a career coach as well, and does mentorship for nursing students as well. So definitely check out Damien. We have Marco that says hello. And hi, Farah, and this is from Antera. And like I said, today we're going to be talking about embracing nurses making money, right? And then she says how we nurses can increase our pay. All right, so that's a great question. And then we have Olga. Hello, Olga. I used to work with Olga at NYU. Wonderful. So thank you for all the comments and being here. I appreciate it. So we're going to get into it, right? So number one way that you can increase your pay as a nurse, and this is not necessarily starting a business, but we're going to get into that in just a moment. But one of the mistakes that I made as a new nurse was not negotiating salary. So there's a recent statistic that says about 60% of women do not negotiate their salary. And we know that the nursing profession does have males, right? But it's really female dominated. So about 60% are not negotiating their salary. So that's something that I regret not doing early on in my career. So you definitely need to research the market value. And this depends on, obviously what country, what city you're in. But tips that you could do is you could go on salary.com. You can go on, I think it's called PayScale, a bunch of different websites that you can look at what your market value is. And that is if you're a new grad, how many years of experience you have, if you have a bachelor's or a master's degree or doctorate. You can really look to see what the average pay, depending on your position and what you'll be doing, right? And you can use that to really leverage negotiations. Also, states, for example, like New York State currently has to show what you will get for the position. So they have to put the pay range. So it's funny because sometimes some places have like this huge range. But obviously, I would say go for the highest range if that's closer to what your market value is, because you don't want to tell them exactly what your price is. You want to leave some room to negotiate. So as a good rule of thumb, I always say, depending on what they give you, sometimes you'll get a lowball offer. But if it's pretty reasonable, I would ask for at least, I would say anywhere from 10 to 20,000 more, depending on what they give you, and use that to negotiate. Also, if you have certifications, right? So like I said, I'm 6 times board certified. I have a certification as a nurse exec advanced. I also have nursing professional development, which is in education. I also have CPXP, which is in patient experience, and then 3 ER certifications. So you definitely want to leverage that, any type of education that you have, to highlight your skills and your value, right? So you can get more money. And that is a big way to get more. The other thing, if you are in a current position and you've been there for years and you haven't been promoted, then you need to work towards that promotion, right? A lot of people have clinical ladder programs. I mean, a lot of corporations. So look into that. And a good time to ask for a promotion or a raise is just before your performance evaluation. So find out what it is exactly that your direct supervisor wants you to do. You might want to take on an extra project or something like that to make more money. But again, remember, a lot of places will not give you that much more money if you stay in the job, right? It might just be a couple more percent. So I know some people frown upon this, and a lot of newer nurses do this, but you should really be just switching jobs, and so you can get vertical growth, right? You don't want to stay in the same type of positions. You want to be able to grow. So I say ideally you should probably change jobs about every 2 years or so, because that is probably where you're going to make the most money, at least 10 to 15% more. But if you stay within the same job, think about it, right? You typically get what, like maybe 1 to 3% raise, when you can really get like 10 to 15% if you move to a different company, right? So let me know what you guys are thinking. Does this resonate with you guys? Today we're talking about embracing nurses making money. So Elizabeth says hi. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what city, what country. Because today we're talking about nurses making money. All right. So like I said, you definitely, I lost my train of thought for a minute. You definitely want to think about switching jobs and going for positions that are higher so you can get paid more, right? And then really getting the skills, going out to different conferences, getting different certifications, increasing your education so you can get paid more. All right. So those are different things that you can do. And then what else did I want to talk about? I had some notes here. And then, of course, as I'm talking about promotions or negotiations, you also want to think about starting your own side hustle, starting your own business. So, a lot of nurses we have seen, especially during the pandemic, have started their own businesses, right? I started mine just after in June 21st, 2021. I started a coaching and consulting business, like I said, about career guidance. But now nurses are doing different things like med spas, opening up med spas. They're doing aesthetic work. They're doing IV hydration. Freelance writing is big. I just went to the NMBA conference, which is the National Nurses and Business Association. I'm a part of them, proud member, and I was a speaker there as well. And I talked about, my talk was how to crush I can't even speak. Crush self-limiting beliefs, how to get unstuck and start your business. And I shared the story of how I got laid off as the director of education. And I did that intentionally because a lot of nurses are in these positions, like director positions or management or any position, and you think that you're safe. You think that you have job security. Well, think again, because literally corporations and hospitals can get rid of you like this in literally a second, right? A minute. Literally, that's what it took for them to lay me off with no heads up. They didn't give me any warning whatsoever. And I was in the middle of an education meeting and they let me go. So if you think that you're secure in your job, think again, because we all know we have families, we have bills to pay, and we want to create generational wealth, right? And we want to get to that financial freedom. So how do we do that? We have to generate income ourselves. So this is why I tell nurses that if you've been thinking about starting that business, you should start it now. You need to start building your personal brand and detaching yourself, right? Detach yourself from the current corporation that you're working for. Because a lot of people on LinkedIn or some other platforms, they'll really highlight where they work and really hype up, and it's like you're branding where you work when you really should be working on personal branding for yourself. So I wouldn't necessarily put where I work. That's just me. I stopped doing that a while back. And I'm only promoting myself and my personal brand because I want to make myself more money, right? Not these corporations that I work for. And that's the kind of mindset that you have to have. Because God forbid something like this happens to you, right? What income are you going to have? Yeah, you're a nurse and you can get a job anytime, but think about it. It could take anywhere from a month to about 3 months or more to actually get hired. So let me know what you guys think about this. Have you been thinking about starting your own business? Are you finding these tips helpful and valuable? Let me know. And do you have any questions or anything to add to the conversation about normalizing nurses making money and really embracing nurses making money? And like I said, I recently wrote a book called Nurses Making Money Moves if you're just joining. And it's a nurse's guide to starting a business, and it's a workbook. So there's a lot of different space for you to write in here, and there's affirmations about money because we need to normalize it, right? Because for some reason nurses have been always linked to, service, doing for others, which is great, but we're still providing a service. So it's okay for us to want more money and ask for more money, right? So that's why I felt strongly about naming my book Nurses Making Money Moves. Even though my book coach told me not to, I felt strongly about it because I feel like we have to have a movement, right, of nurses really um, creating generational wealth for themselves and for their family. So if you want to go get my book, like I said, go to my website, nursefarah.com. You can hit on book and then you go to the cart and you'll be able to purchase the book. So again, thank you so much for all those who purchased the book at the NMBA. Really appreciate it. And all those who have as well who are watching. So let me know if you have any questions, any comments. I'd love to take them now. And like I said, I'm also streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And if you're watching the replay, definitely put hashtag replay and let me know if you have any questions for those who will be watching this after. I'm going to be on for another 10 minutes or so, and I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have. And another reason why I think nurses make great business owners is that we're in the business of solving problems, right? We're great critical thinkers and problem solvers. And we always use the nursing process, right? So I feel that it makes us really good business people. And also, the whole concept of business is, right? People do business with people. And people will not buy a product or service from you if they don't trust you. And as nurses, there's been a lot of surveys done, but I think it's the Gallup survey for the 22nd year in a row, and I believe it's 22 years. Nursing has been rated the number one trusted profession over all other professions. So nurses are trusted. So in business, you want to do business with people you trust. And of course, naturally, right, we trust nurses. So that's a good way. And another thing is that nurses really know how to connect well with others. And people love that in business. You want to connect with your clients, you want to be able to listen to them, give them good customer service, right? And that's what nurses do. And if you're really thinking about starting a business, I highly recommend starting out, unless you have something really specific, starting out as a nurse consultant or a coach, right? Doing things like tutoring, for example, tutoring nursing students or other nursing students such as doctoral students or master's students. You can create income that way, especially the next gen is out, which is the licensing exam. And a lot of nurses are struggling with that. And like I said, Damien helps a lot of nurses with that. I also did that for quite a bit, but it hasn't really been my focus now. My focus now has really been helping nurses land their dream job with interviewing. That's really been my best seller. I also help with resumes and cover letters, but I don't do it for you anymore. It's more of a consultation. But Where I really like my zone of genius really is in interviewing and really landing that job and really making sure that you hit hard when you're doing your interview pitch so that there's no question. Like I've had clients who have gotten offers right after the interview ended, like same day offers, because we don't play, right? We're here to slay all day and get that position and get that offer. So that's really what I specialize in is interviewing. And Lord knows, I've been on so many different interviews, up to right director level leadership, all different types of interviews. So I really help, and a lot of my clientele are new graduate nurses, but I help all nurses. I've even helped nurses transition into academia. They got in professor positions and education positions. And recently, like I said, I'm also helping other nurses start up their own businesses. So, like I said, if you want to get started, you have to do your research, right? You have to find out what is really in demand. And this was part of the my presentation that I did at the NMBA, right? If you want to start a business, what is the demand? So I use the example of newspapers, right, or Blockbuster. We know they're no longer really in existence, right? Netflix really killed Blockbuster because it was an on-demand service and it was just much better. So Blockbuster went out of business. So, you wouldn't go and like open up a video store because nobody wants that. It's not in demand. Same thing goes for any business. You want to make sure that it's in demand and that it's growing, and market trends are showing that it's going to be something that's good and that's something that's going to make you profit. So when you're looking at starting a business, you definitely have to look at that. And then you have to look at like your target audience and what problem you're going to solve and really what your solution will be. And then I talked about niching down, niche, whatever, however you want to say it. You got to niche down because the riches are in the niches, right? You can't be like a jack of all trades like I was in the ER, right? You have to, and a master of none, right? You have to master one skill, one craft. Like, what is your specialty? What are you really good at, right? What is your unique selling proposition, like makes you different from everybody else, and why people should buy from you? And what are you an expert in? So that's definitely it. And I'm very transparent. Like I said, I've been in business for about 2 years, and I'm not going to say that I'm this super knowledgeable person on all things business, right? But I know how to start up a business, and at least coaching and consulting is what I know. And this is what I want to share with other nurses because I want you to be profitable and I want you to start your side hustle so that you don't end up in a position where you're laid off and then you have nothing, right? Because I want nurses to embrace making money moves and embrace, right, building that generational wealth. Hi, Valerie. So I got to meet Valerie in person. Hey, Valerie. She was a LinkedIn connection from California. I hope you're doing well. Love all my LinkedIn support, my LinkedIn fam. And again, here's the book, Nurses Making Money Moves. You can order your copy on nursefarah.com, my website. So again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you think this episode is really valuable, give me a thumbs up. Put money in the comments if you think that this is valuable. And like I said, I typically try to go live a couple times a month, typically on Fridays, but I happen to be on vacation and off today, so I wanted to do a live. And you can go on my website, and if you go under the YouTube link, you'll see all my Nursing Dose episodes, Nursing Dose with Farah episodes. I have a ton of episodes. You can check out previous episodes there. So like I said, back to why nurses should really open up their own business. And Valerie is a legal nurse consultant. So she definitely knows what I'm talking about when it comes to nurses starting their own business. And you got to do something that you're passionate about and that you're an expert in. So like I said, you're solving a solution, and like nurses, we're great at solving problems, right? Solution focused. And then you want to be able to do three things. You want to be visible on LinkedIn, like I am now, or other social media platforms. I wouldn't recommend doing more than one or two platforms because it's very difficult to navigate all platforms. I used to be on TikTok, but I'm not on it anymore, and I really have to just kind of see, where I want to really focus. But LinkedIn is it. Like LinkedIn is my platform, so I definitely love LinkedIn. But right now, I'm streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and LinkedIn. So I'm learning to maximize my time, right? So I'm creating content and it's being streamed on all different platforms. So when you're starting to create content, it's very important that you're able to maximize your time. And then even creating a podcast, you can monetize from that. So you have to be creative and think about different ways that you can really share content and make it valuable so that it could reach a lot of different people because you want to reach your target audience, right? So let me know if this is resonating with you. I don't see any thumbs up. Are you guys still there? And put money in the comments if you think that this is valuable. Thumbs up and money. What else? You want to create a payment format, right? So once you get your business registered, which is pretty easy, depends on what state you live in or what country, there might be some different rules, but you can literally go on YouTube or Google, how do I start my business in this country or city or whatever? And you'll get step by step. I also share that in my workbook. Some tips on how to start and register your business. So definitely check that out. So once you have that and you have in the United States, once you have your EIN number, then you can really start selling, right? And you need to open up a business account and be able to take payment, right? So Stripe is a popular one, and there's other forms of payment. So that's basically what you need to do. Be on one channel, right? At least one or two channels. You need to create an offer. I wouldn't create more than, one to two offers starting out, and be clear on what it is. Are you offering a service or a product? And then just charge for it, right? And then that's it. And then you want to be able to get feedback from your clients and be able to improve that service continuously, or that product, right? And then you want to get testimonials. So you want to make sure that it's visible. So on LinkedIn, I think I have over 40 testimonials of past clients that I've worked with. So definitely have a way that you can collect testimonials. Another example, I'm branching out now into speaking. I spoke at the NMBA, the National Nurses and Business Association. They had their own format for collecting feedback. Unfortunately, I didn't have time because I had submitted my PowerPoint way in advance, but I didn't have time to put the QR code on the last slide. But I brought my own QR code and was able to collect some feedback. And I posted it on LinkedIn earlier. But like 100% of the people thought that my presentation was valuable, and 100% of the people said they would like to hear me speak again. And it breaks it down into 4 categories. I think actionable, inspiring, different things. And I got really high scores. I think like 98 or above, right? So if you're speaking, you also want to make sure that you have a way to collect feedback from your audience. And there was like over, I think, 200 attendees, but I was still also exhibiting. So I was also at my booth, selling my books and signing my books. So I didn't get a chance to really like talk to everybody. But, you know, like I said, I was able to at least get around and talk to a lot of different people, make connections, and really network. And yesterday I had a live that talked about the power of networking. And I think that's really important. Networking and really creating community and making an impact is really important, because once you create impact, you give value to people from, creating content. People are going to start noticing you, and they're going to start gravitating to you, right? And then naturally, the money will follow. Money will follow the impact. And what you're creating, what you're doing. So definitely be consistent. That's one big tool that I've learned from over time from my mentors, and I follow a lot of different people. And I have coaches. I have a lot of different coaches. So I had a business coach. a speaking mentor, also a mindset coach from the UK, Veronica V. Power Coach. She's amazing. And who else? Like I said, a lot of different coaches and mentors. And you don't want to just limit yourself to people who are in nursing if you're trying to start a business. You want to branch out and go to different networking events, right? So I've been to the Small Business Expo in New York, and some other business conferences in New Jersey because I'm on the East Coast. And then you just want to continuously learn. So I'm always on YouTube looking at different people like Alex Hermosi. He has a book coming out soon that I'm going to be getting. And you really have to invest in yourself and in your business, right? So if this is making sense, and I see Valerie's putting thumbs up. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and if you're finding this, like I said, valuable. Put money in the chat if you're enjoying it. Money, 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 right? Because we're talking about normalizing nurses making money and embracing nurses making money, because for far too long, and it really pisses me off because and it's a topic that I'm super passionate about, because nurses are underpaid. A lot of nurses are underpaid, undervalued, and not really getting what it is that they should be getting. So I think financial literacy is important. You need to really learn the language around money, especially if you're trying to get into business. And this is something that I'm still learning. And it's really a journey to entrepreneurship. And I was talking about this at the NMBA when I was speaking. No one is going to have the same path. No one's going to have the same journey. So don't compare yourself to other people. And you definitely want to just take action. That's really the biggest thing. And I know it sounds, like silly, but people read all these books, So like if you get my book, right, please start taking some of this stuff into action. So I talk a lot about being visible on social media, building your personal brand. And again, you could get the book on nursefarah.com. You hit book, and then it'll take you to a contact form, and then you hit the little cart where you can get the go to the credit card area and put all your information, right? Get money. Come on, support. So like I said, you definitely want to be able to promote yourself. That's another thing. Nurses have a hard time promoting themselves. When I coach other nurses on how to pitch themselves during an interview, it's like you're selling yourself, right? You got to promote yourself. And a lot of nurses are shy. They don't want to talk about their strengths or accomplishments. And I'm like, whoa, hello, if you don't, you're not going to get the job, right? You have to prove to the employer, hiring manager, that you are it, right? You are the deal, right? Okay, and I see Valerie putting money. Yes. Get money. We have to start promoting ourselves more. We have to talk about money more, learn about money. And because I know a lot, like when I worked in Canada, I worked in Michigan, New York, New Jersey. I worked in a lot of places. And a lot of nurses don't share information about money or what they're making or their salary. And there's like a taboo surround, like, it's like almost taboo, right? They don't want to talk about it. But I was always the one like, hey, how much are you making? I'm making this. Like, we should be making more, right? Like, we need to empower nurses to have these conversations, to be able to negotiate, to ask for what they want and not be shy about it. And if you have a business and you say your price with confidence. So I had a business coach. I had a strategic session with her. And she said, the price is the price. And I loved it. And she said, don't be afraid to say your price, because if you're not confident when you say your price, then people are not going to want to buy from you. So on my website, when you go on my website, you go to services, all my pricing is there. And if you want to have a one-on-one coaching session with me to gain more clarity, or maybe you're not sure what type of business you want to start, or maybe you're not sure if you're a nursing student or a new grad, what specialty area you should be going into, that's okay. a clarity session, like a 1 hour coaching would be perfect for you. And what do I charge for that? $397. Yes, that's right. $397 for 1 hour of coaching. And that is valuable, right? And same thing when I have my offer. One of my biggest offers is my $1,297. So it's $1,297, but you get 2 hours of interview one-on-one with me, two different times. We could break up the sessions. And then I also review your resume and your cover letter, right? On two different occasions, 1 hour each. Or I think it's like 1 hour for both. A lot of people think that's expensive. That is not expensive. All right. Number one, I'm saving you a tremendous amount of time. Like I said, most people, it takes about 3 months or so to get a job. Sometimes nurses wait 6 months until they can actually land a position. So think about it. If you're sitting around at home for 6 months with no job, are you getting any income? No. And think about it. If you're in New York, let's take New York City for a minute. New graduate nurses on average make $100,000. So that's $50 an hour, about 100,000, right? So think about that relative to just paying $12.97, right? And listen, I'm probably going to increase my prices soon because I follow Rachel Rogers and she has a book called We Should All Be Millionaires. I don't work for her, but I probably should. She should give me commission because I read her book and it's amazing. It's called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. And she talks about doubling your prices. So if you have a business currently, you're probably undercharging. So you need to double your prices. All right. So listen, because we're talking about money here. Let's go. All right. Making money moves. Here are some of my props that I used at the money bags that I used at the conference, right? Double your prices and don't be afraid. So like I said, you might think $12.97 is a lot, but it's not relative to you making $100,000 a year. So if you wait 6 months, you're losing out on $50,000 right there, where you could have just paid $12.97 and get a job really quickly. You could get a same day offer. One of my recent clients was a nursing student. She actually graduates this month in August, and she already landed her job like a few months ago. Right? So when she graduates, she's already positioned, like she's going to start right away. So there's not going to be any time wasting or anything like that. Boom, she's going to start. So that's what I call value-based pricing. The value is really priceless because she's not going to waste time and she's not going to be wasting time on YouTube or Google trying to find out how to interview. Like I have over 20 years of experience and that's what you are paying for. Intellectual property, and you're paying for my experience and my value. And y'all better get it soon because I'm probably going to double my prices very soon as well. All right. So like I said, today we talked about nurses making money moves, how to embrace nurses making more money. All right. So I feel like you guys were quiet in the chat today. I don't know. Maybe you guys ate some lunch and you were in a food coma. I don't know what's going on. But I appreciate it for all those who were here. Thank you, Valerie, Olga, Elizabeth, and Tara, Marco, and Damien. And for those who are watching that maybe that I missed, and for those watching the replay as well, thank you. Put hashtag replay. Let me know if this was valuable. If it was, put some dollar signs up or put money in the chat. And again, get my book, Nurses Making Money Moves, the workbook edition, A Nurse's Guide to Starting Their Own Business. You can get that on nursefarah.com. Again, that's 1R, nursefarah.com. Hit books at the top. It'll take you to a form. And then once you hit the cart on the bottom, make sure you click the cart. It'll take you to the credit card information so we can what? Make money. And then I'll mail you the book and personally sign the book for you. All right. So Valerie says she's giving me some hearts. Thank you for all the love, all the support. I appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to be going live on Friday. I think we're going to have a guest and we're going to be talking about wellness and nursing. And she has her own business in California. And it's somebody that I met at the NMBA conference. So look out for that flyer. I'll be going live on Friday. I think it's either 12 noon or 1 o'clock. So definitely check me out and check out the website. And if you want to work with me, you could book a call on my website, or you could directly message me on LinkedIn. All right. So again, nursefarah.com. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a blessed day. And who knows, maybe I'll go live again later. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day.